I'm here in Sussex County, Delaware, in the southern part of the state, where Mount Air Farms, one of the top 10 chicken producers in the entire country, is headquartered right behind me. And they've basically been spraying contaminants into these open farm fields for around 2 decades now. And Mount Air Farms is actually Donald Trump's 5th largest contributor to his 2016 campaign, having donated around $2 million, a little over it, in fact. This is solid waste being sprayed onto cornfields.
Not even more than 30 yards from my house. If you could walk from my house where it's located, I don't think it was over 30 yards.
This property's been in your family for 100 years?
Yeah, since I was a baby. The doctor, when I went to the doctor 2 weeks ago, she told me that I have asthma. Who gets asthma at 74 years old? You get asthma when you're young, and like every morning, my wheezing wake me up. I'm constantly wheezing. I was trying to sing in church Sunday. I couldn't sing because of my voice. I just want to know I don't have cancer in my lungs, because this is one thing, my voice is not the same like it used to be.
I had an uncle who prostate cancer, to an aunt that lost both her legs due to lack of oxygen, to an uncle with dementia, to a brother-in-law who has stents put in his heart, been diagnosed with diabetes, been diagnosed with asthma at a late stage of his life. My daughter had a extra ear on the back of her ear, and I had it removed when she was at the age of 8. I lost my son, due to asthma. He died of acute asthma attack.
How old was he?
He was 24 years old. And I didn't even think people could even die from asthma. I didn't think people even died from asthma, but he died from acute asthma attack. He was diagnosed as mentally, educally disabled at a young age due to lack of oxygen to the brain.
The way wells work is it filters through our grass and our dirt, which has historically actually been a really good system of drinking, and it's been clean and crisp. But when you have overproduction of chickens, when you have farms spraying waste onto their produce and then it leaks into the system, people drink it. It's no longer a sound way of receiving your water. It's no different than having lead in your pipes because it's still a toxin.
So they've tested the wells, and a majority of people here get their water from well water, and at least 60% of the wells were contaminated with nitrates, which causes a lack of oxygen and a lot of these diseases that we're seeing in these residents.
So Blades is a town in Delaware that had contamination of PFOA or PFOS, so these perfluorinated compounds that were coming from industry there. And literally they brought out the National Guard, and yet the state was testing wells in Millsboro, finding levels of water that were, number one, not potable, but number two, unsafe for people to drink and unsafe for people to use, and yet relatively nothing has been done, right? So,
and Blades is a much wealthier area.
Blades is a very different community.
They don't want to hear us. They don't. The Democrats, the Republicans, the Independents, they don't want to hear us. They shut us down, or they get nasty, and they just don't want to hear us. They're tired of hearing us. And what can you do? I feel like I'm hitting my head against a brick wall. It's all corporate.
There are hundreds of lawsuits being leveled at Mount Air by the residents in this community right now, and you can really see why.
For the last about 10 to 12 years, I have to wear wigs because my hair falls out. My hair been falling out. It's just terrible. But that's all I'm saying.
Newspaper turned around and said that they wanted the signs taken off because it's causing a problem with the real estate. Why did they put up no fishing, no swimming, don't eat crabs, and don't swim? Why? Because it's all cancer. The whole area where those signs were. And the realtors took a fit. They took them down. I don't know how the cancer is now, but it sure didn't disappear overnight.